Hi everybody, it's the CC and JT Amateur Hour where production values go to die. Over there is CC.
And over there is JT.
And we're having a happy, powerful, stimulated morning here. Well, it's the last Sunday before Christmas.
Yes.
And so we've decked the halls, so to speak.
Yes.
We've decked our ears.
Charlie Brown tree.
Brown tree, Nutcracker.
3 days to Christmas countdown.
Yeah, books. So we are fully engaged here with the Christmas spirit, I guess you could say. So Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and for those other holidays that you find special, we wish you a merry and joyful one.
And if you do celebrate Yule, which was yesterday, we hope that you had a wonderful celebration. It is now officially winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. Some of our loyal fans are actually in the Southern Hemisphere, so they celebrated the first day of summer.
Yeah.
They're heading down to the southern tip of South America, so we hope you're having a wonderful cruise down there.
Oh, yes, also watch as we glare at you. Glare. Some things we want to get out of the way. First of all, for myself, I want to do a shout out to Ricky Henderson, who passed yesterday. Yes. If folks don't know who Ricky Henderson is, he is an absolute baseball icon, a generational icon, just a fantastic ball player and a better person, and a very complex person without a doubt. And there's lots of things that will be written about him, but for me, the guy seemed immortal, and he seemed like, he should live forever, and that was just a shock. So, Ricky, 2 fingers, you the man. So, just wow.
Yes, it's never easy losing someone that we admire, and especially at this time of year, it's going to be especially hard. So we send out thoughts and prayers to his family and friends and fans and everyone out there.
Easily numbers in the millions,
yes.
And I think next time we go to Cooperstown, we will definitely be making a trip to his plaque. So because man, that was a shock. Other things, some good news is we finally have all of the prequel for the Serving Salvation book, which is the Finding Salvation series. So we finally have that. I'm going to work on that, and we're going to do a cover reveal this Friday, which is the 27th.
Yes.
Friday the 27th. Going to do a cover reveal. Fantastic cover. Just a lovely cover.
Really is great.
It's a brilliant cover, and so we're going to go ahead and start pushing that, and it's going to be available for sale. It's a novella, not a novel. It's a novella, so I haven't figured out the price yet. But if you buy the e-copy of the Serving Salvation book one, it's $4.99. The novella clocks in just a little under half the words, but twice the quality. I'm really proud of this book. It just came together really well. You read it. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. It is. It gave me some Blade Runner vibes. So just to give you a little bit of background, if you're a fan of Blade Runner, I think you might be interested in this. It was based on something. It actually came together from something we discussed previously, where we were looking at book covers, and we came across. There was a faux title, I guess, on one of the book covers that kind of
Sexbot Revolution.
Yes, spurred your thought process on this. So it's definitely an interesting read.
Yeah, it started to. I started to do something along those lines, but then I realized the book could be so much more.
Right.
And so the series, it's a 3-part series. Parts 2 and 3 are like 90-something% done. So they won't be. I waited to finish until the first book was finished, or the first novella was finished, so I knew how to go from there. But they came together really well, and it turned out to be something much more than the Sexbot Revolution thing. It turned out to be something really much more, what I feel, deep.
Yes, and it leads into the Serving Salvation series very nicely. So the 3 prequel novellas will be coming out in between the 3 Serving Salvation books. So that should be quite a bit of reading to keep you busy for a few years, which is the whole idea.
Well, readers are always wanting series. Readers are always wanting to know what happened. Readers want to know what happened after, after this, that, and the other thing. So as much, when I first started writing, I didn't set up for a series. I just, standalones.
Right.
Sheriff and Emma are both 2 examples of that. Sheriff of Nevada, and Hope Knocks Twice, which is the Emma, the Child Protective Services person. And so, but then somebody started nagging. I would never use the word nagging for my soulmate.
Speaking of Emma, that was a Christmas gift for me several years ago, and I really loved it, and I wanted to know more about Emma. So that's where that series came from. And something similar happened with Sheriff, is that actually other people besides myself started reading it and really enjoying it, because it's very representative of Nevada and small Nevada communities and Nevadans. So Sheriff Maggie became very popular, and your book was checked out from the state library.
Yeah, woo! So it's at the Churchill County Library, which is in the center of Nevada, Fallon, Nevada, Fallon, Naval Air Station, home of Top Gun, and all that. So it's out there. It's in so it's a library. It's on bookshelves. So it's really cool. So anyway, so back to the original point being is I didn't originally start to write series, but it just worked out that way, and now so I'm sort of stuck in the series thing. So, Serving Salvation, Finding Salvation, they're out there for you. Let's talk real quick about Festering Turd.
So the campaign, actually, I am going to call it a success. We sold 2 copies over the course of a little over a month, and also got a feature review on a website, which I have posted on social media, and we can probably put a link in the blog post today. But considering this book had been sitting and languishing and hadn't gotten much attention, I'm taking this as a success. Yeah. The whole idea was based on the Uncle Billy storyline in Love Actually, where he becomes the #1 for Christmas, and I did a video on that on the Clock app, about the Christmas #1s in the UK and Ireland, which actually turned out to be a fascinating topic for me to research. So if you're interested, look me up on the Clock app, check out Tundra. That may also become a sequel. The review that we got mentioned that other characters in this book could be spun off into their own books. So there may be more to come in the Tundra series. We're just hoping that people enjoy book 1 before we even go there.
Yeah, we actually have a pretty good idea of what to do for a sequel, and it's not going to be a sequel, it's going to be a prequel. And so it will involve characters in this book. So, it'll be pretty gosh darn cool. And so we're looking forward to doing it. It's just we have to find the time to do it because we're all actively writing books that we've already got queued up. Your Virginia City book is getting pretty darn close for beta readers. Yes.
My goal again is to get this one done by New Year's Eve, because I had a really messy plot issue with it. So now that I've gotten that worked out, I'm hoping it smooths itself out and I can send it off to beta in January, and hopefully it will be released by mid-2025. Yep. That's my fingers crossed, but that will be the first book in a 6-book series that I already have completely planned out. A couple of the other books are already partially written, so I'll need to go back and make sure everything fits together. But we are cranking out series here at 2 more books.
Yep. And just very quickly for myself, book 2 of the Serving Salvation has started the editorial process. It's at the editor. What it will do, it'll go through a beta editing, and then it'll go through copy editing, it'll go proofing before it gets out to the world. So it's going to be a few more months, and that's fine because the editing. We've had bad experiences with self-editing. We're not going to do that ever again. Twitch. So
even with a couple rounds of professional edits, some things always manage to sneak through. It's the gift that keeps giving. So no matter how much we get it edited, we do experience typos. When you're formatting things and putting them up online, things happen. So it's just, you can't avoid issues. And you did recently go back and
my awesome editor read this book the other day and found a dozen typos, and so that after it had gone through so much editing, still found a dozen typos. But the nice thing about self-publishing, I can't do it for the copies that have already been sold for the paper copies, but for the e-copies, I went ahead and made those changes, uploaded, and I sent a notice out via the blog that, hey, if you guys want to get a cleaner copy, they weren't major errors. They were just grammar errors. but they were still important enough to me that I wanted a cleaner copy out there. So thank you, awesome editor. And that's just the that's just the nature of the business. We could tell stories, but let's move on to the holiday season in our tradition.
Yep.
So we have our 4 traditional movies that we watch every year.
Mm-hmm.
We watch Die Hard. We watch Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about those 2 in a second. We watch Christmas Vacation, and we watch, what's the one I've forgotten?
Well, we were trying Scrooged, but that didn't work out.
It seems like there was a 4th movie that we always watch.
Well, for a while I was doing the traditional It's a Wonderful Life with one of our kids. That was our big Christmas movie, but we've kind of gone past that. And this year, we had the 3.
What was the first movie we saw? We
watched Scrooged because we were thinking about adding that to
our rotation. So we watched Scrooged.
Yep. Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation. Okay. Love Actually. Die Hard, and then we watched Batman Returns, and then we watched Red One. Okay, so we have talked at length about Love Actually. We've talked at length about Die Hard. By the way, Die Hard still absolutely slams. It is the action movie, and it was probably an injustice that we saw it before we watched Batman Returns. Very good movie.
Yes.
And Red One. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
And so, we're not going to make that. We don't mean to make this a movie podcast for this one, but we just want to talk about our traditions.
Yes.
So we start off by watching. No, I forgot
Scrooged.
Scrooged. We watched Scrooged.
And the fact that you keep forgetting is probably why we won't
It's kind of a clue. We were thinking about elevating that to our rotation of 3 movies that we watch. But Scrooged is just too dark and too much Bill Murray. It's
more Halloween, I think, than Christmas. It even though it's based on A Christmas Carol, the 3 ghosts and everything, it does feel very much more Halloween, which a lot of people watch A Nightmare Before Christmas either at Halloween or at Christmas. I also feel that Nightmare, though I haven't watched the whole thing, I feel that is more of a Halloween movie.
Yeah, and so if we do a Halloween tradition, we're going to throw Scrooged over there. Okay, so Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
And then Die Hard, and Love Actually. And
Love
then
Actually.
Die Hard. We watched Love Actually first.
Yes.
So we could see Ellen screw over Emma.
Yes.
And then we watched Die Hard so we could watch Ellen get thrown off the building.
Nakatomi! Woo!
That's what you get. You don't screw with Emma Thompson.
So someone mentioned if you want Alan Rickman to have a redemption arc after you watch Love Actually and Die Hard and he falls off Nakatomi, you can watch Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
Where he's actually a very nice character in that movie. Yeah. He's a very sweet character. So if you want to do a redemption arc for Alan Rickman, honestly, Die Hard was his first movie, and he was such a striking character in that movie. The way he played Hans Gruber was amazing. I got chills just thinking about it.
It's just he did nothing was played to type. Nothing was played to type. We're going to talk about that here in a second. It was obviously his breakout role. It's what got him attention of Hollywood. Yep. But he just did it so well.
Well, and he'd been a stage actor before that, so that's not his first acting job. It was just his first big movie role.
Okay. Then we thought about adding Scrooged, but that's going to Halloween. Right. And then we did Batman Begins, which is another Christmas. What?
Returns.
Pardon me?
Returns. Batman Returns.
Returns. What did I say? Batman actually?
Begins. You say
Batman Returns.
Which is a totally different movie.
This is the second of the 3 Michael Keaton movies. He was recently in a third one, The Flash. And so it was the second of him and what's his face as the director, Tim Burton. Yeah. First of all, Michael Keaton was a pleasant surprise
he was.
It was good.
He made a great Bruce Wayne.
But Batman Begins is a very strong entry into Returns. Batman Returns is a very strong entry into the Batman mythology.
Yeah, it's oeuvre.
The whole thing.
Right.
It's Danny DeVito was just so good.
The Penguin origin story in that was very disturbing.
Yeah, and Michelle Pfeiffer and that whip.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But the cast was strong.
But and we're calling it a Christmas movie because it happened at Christmas. But I don't really feel like it was a Christmas movie, and that may just
No, it was, again, maybe, I don't even think that would be a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Christopher Walken as Max Schreck was awesome.
Yeah.
You have their version of Commissioner Gordon, who is kind of forgettable, actually.
Yeah, he was. And,
He
you know,
was
and
my
it's like,
favorite.
I think people were saying on set that Christopher Walken was just a scary SOB.
Well, I think just Christopher Walken, over all the movies I've seen, one of the ones I rewatched at Halloween was Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, his Horseman.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, you know, we're not taking away anything from Batman Returns. Because it is an excellent entry in the Batman movies. But it's not going to make our rotation next year.
No.
And then we watched Red One, which was recently released. It has Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, playing Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. It has Chris Evans trying to break the Captain America mold by, cussing like he did in...
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but he was also in Knives Out.
Yeah.
And he played very much against Captain America in that movie. Yeah. So I think this was more along the lines of his character in Knives Out.
Yeah. And he Chris was also in Deadpool and Wolverine, where he played very much against character with his potty mouth. Chris.
Cap wouldn't do that.
The problem is I really felt that it was more of a studio movie than it was an actor's movie. What I mean by studio movie, it seemed like it was just doing a lot of checkbox. Okay, we need to include this. We need to include a heartfelt moment between family members, a heartfelt redemption moment.
Yes.
Sorry if we're spoiling, but I don't think we really are. And we need to have, a scary character, who looks, beautiful at the beginning but scary at the end. We need to have the surprise good guy who was a bad guy. It just seemed like it was just doing a lot of check marks, and also, I thought it was extremely average.
It was average. I enjoyed it, but I don't feel like a rewatch is necessary. I did love the Lucy Liu character, and I kind of wanted her.
Yeah, we needed more Lucy Liu.
We needed more Lucy Liu. The one of the other characters, I didn't recognize the actress at first, so I had to look her up, and she played the daughter on Mad Men. Mm-hmm. So this was quite a difference from that. I mean, that was a well-rounded character. Her character on Mad Men was pretty well-rounded too. Yeah. So her character here, I think, was actually a little bit more one-dimensional.
Yeah, really, it could have been better. There's two things that did stick out to me. Is this: if there is a sequel, it needs to be a Lucy Liu sequel. That's just Lucy Liu. Sorry, that's just
not specifically to the maybe Christmas element, but there were other things that they could explore. There's a mention of the Horseman. Yeah,
there easily could be even a Netflix series with Lucy Liu and this organization that she's leads. But we need more Lucy Liu, and we saw her fighting for about 10 seconds. How do you do something like that?
I don't know. It just I have to say that her fight scene was amazing. J.K. Simmons, who played Santa Claus, ripped, and
oh my God, he's older than that.
He's about to turn 70. He will be 70 at the beginning of January.
Oh my God!
And the man is ripped.
Yeah, I mean, that's not special effects, kids.
No, and Dwayne Johnson also ripped. But J.K. Simmons, I mean, they could go toe to toe here. You could believe. The Rock is like spotting for Santa Claus at one point because Santa's like working out, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you can believe it.
The other thing that stood out to me, and it's just my little thing here, is at the beginning, Santa gets to be Santa with the help of the United States Air Force, which I thought was so cool. And it was only like for a minute or two, but it was still very, very cool. But the Air Force, our uniforms, it makes us look like bus drivers, and it's like,
I never thought so. Speaking of Christmas and everything, the first time I saw you in uniform was actually on New Year's, but it was during the holiday season. So I have a fond spot for Air Force blues. Yeah. But anyway,
so it was cute. But I don't think, I agree with you that Red One's not going to get a rewatch. It's just
not for us, no.
So we're going to stick with our three, which again, Die Hard, Love Actually, and Christmas Vacation. And then next year we'll audition for more. I don't think, there are movies that we have considered that we are not going to do. It's a Wonderful Life, we've seen it so much that, we don't really need to see it again. A Christmas Story, not interested.
No, I do not.
Home
like that
Alone
one.
I think, is too
mean.
sadistic.
It's way too mean.
It is just too sadistic if you're talking, I understand, both of those, by the way, Home Alone and Home Alone 2, which by themselves are excellently crafted movies, but they're just, it
All
comes
the
to a point where
violence,
it's just,
yeah, it's, I was mentioning this the other day that I can't watch Home Alone anymore because of the violence with the sticky bandits and the wet bandits, whatever you want to call them. But it reminds me a lot of the Three Stooges, and I cannot watch the Three Stooges anymore. It's just mean.
It's just, it's violence for the sake of violence.
Yeah,
and
can't.
It has to mean something. It's like in Die Hard, the violence is not for the sake of violence. It's just, it's an action movie.
Well, and the other thing is, I have a problem with certain scenes in Die Hard, which you were kind of telling me not to look.
Yeah.
But I found out something about the, like they use prosthetic feet when he's running barefoot through the glass. And that actually helped me tolerate it a little better because, oh my gosh, those scenes.
Yeah.
Still pretty rough to watch. But...
So if, we ask again, if you, as our listeners, as our viewers, have ideas for, a Christmas movie, not Nightmare Before Christmas either.
No.
But as you said, that's more of a Halloween movie. So
I know another one.
What?
We didn't do it this year, but one of the movies that I consider a Christmas movie is actually Little Women.
Yeah.
I find that to be it's not
It's not
are scenes
exclusively
at Christmas. No, but I always feel like Little Women at Christmas time is a good watch.
Yeah. So like we said, if any of you all have ideas to elevate it for our rotation, we sure would love it. We saw 6 movies. And we auditioned 3, and we're going to stick with what we got.
And we're not talking about animations because JT's favorite would be Charlie Brown Christmas, which is why we have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Mine is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is an old Rankin Bass, and I did rewatch that one, and it holds up. Makes me cry every time. I love that one.
Okay. So anyway, thank you for tolerating our views, and if you have some ideas, shoot them on over. So, we're going to talk exclusively about Christmas now. Forgive us if you have other holidays in your life. We're not disrespecting them, but right now this is our podcast, so we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about our Christmases and how many does this make to get since the first Christmas we spent together was 1981.
Yep.
Holy crap. So this is our 43rd Christmas together. My grandparents were so upset, and I still feel bad about this. I came back from the Air Force. I joined the Air Force in October of 81. It was a tech school at Keesler, and they allowed Christmas breaks where we could fly back, and we're young airmen, and we have a lot of money because we haven't been spending money.
Right.
And so I was able to get plane tickets from from New Orleans. Flew out of New Orleans back to Reno, and I spent Christmas Day with my young person here, who is still my young person here. And my grandparents were just not upset. They were so upset about that, which probably led to one of the reasons why they didn't come to our wedding. But I shouldn't say I have no regrets, but I do, because I probably should have spent time with them. But I spent Christmas with you, which was a choice that I made. Knowing what I was getting into.
And it wasn't just me. He took on my whole family.
Yeah.
We went to Christmas Eve midnight mass, which I took as, oh my gosh, because for me, being raised in a Catholic household, even though we were very lapsed, going to midnight mass was a huge deal for our family. I would have gladly skipped it though, just to hang out. But the fact that you came along with us really meant a lot to me, so I appreciated that.
Yeah. And so we spent Christmas together.
Yep.
And we spent as much as we could over the next few days until I had to fly back to tech school. And there I was kneeling in the airport at New Orleans on a payphone.
Still don't believe this.
It's Christmas. It's magic.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
And I, proposed.
On the phone.
On the phone, because I was too chicken to do it in person.
Well, hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit, though.
Yeah.
We had gone on maybe a handful of dates.
Yeah.
We barely knew each other. We really went out for the first time in September, I believe.
Something like that.
Mania. Yeah. So we were almost complete strangers, and he proposed I was sitting in my grandparents' kitchen/dining area, and the whole family was there for Christmas, and I'm on the phone because that's when you were tethered to the wall and you couldn't go hide. They had two phones. There was one in the bedroom, one in the kitchen, but I didn't think anything exciting was going to happen. We were just chatting, and he proposed.
Yeah. And there I am on my knee in the
New Orleans airport, yes,
yes,
we know.
by its magic.
In your blues.
In my blues, because I was traveling in my blues.
Which I had gotten makeup on.
Yeah, when we hugged, she got makeup on my shirt.
Yes.
On my shirt, not on my dress coat, but on my shirt, because I'd taken my coat off.
Yes, but I was wearing full makeup at that time, foundation and everything.
I didn't care.
I felt bad.
I still don't care. And of course, she was swept up in the romance of the moment, taken on the wings of love, from this young airman in his blues on his knees in the airport. And she said the magical words which have carried me through to these days, all the way. You said,
I have to think about it. I was 18. We barely knew each other. Yeah. It just, looking back, if I had said yes right away, that would have made me kind of go, oh, what was I thinking? But I did consider it for 3 days. Something he will never let me forget.
And in fairness, that was the absolute right thing to do, because you're right. Barely knew.
Yeah.
And you learned over time the amount of baggage I brought. Oh my God, you could call me Samsonite. I had so much baggage.
But the thing is that those 3 days, basically, I could not stop thinking about you. And I don't know if I ever told you this. I remember specifically, I was in Albertsons with my mother and my aunt. Yeah. We were going through the aisles and I'm pushing the cart. And my mother and my aunt basically had already started planning the wedding because both of them had come to this country and married men they didn't know. So this was not unusual. My family, immigrants, basically. So, it was like, oh, well, you found a nice guy. He's got a good career. He's in the military. He'll take care of you. So they're like, go for it, Doesn't matter that you don't know him. You'll figure it out. So, we're in the store and we're chatting. And I realized, well, what it comes down to is I say no and maybe never see you again. And I did not like that idea because I felt very comfortable with him right away.
Yeah, you poor thing.
But in Albertsons, and it's down here, it's an Office Depot now and like a chef store kind of thing. But it's, I was in that aisle. I can just very specifically remember myself standing in that aisle going, I'm going to say yes. And so then when we talked again, I also remember specifically what I said. I did not say yes. I said, what would you do if I said yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so anyway. That was our Christmas story.
That's our Christmas/New Year's. Well, it's a Christmas story because, we did the thing over Christmas, so.
But here we are, 43 years later, celebrating our 43rd Christmas season. Together.
Yeah, season. Yeah. And, oh boy.
Yes, it was, like I have mentioned before, the first year was rough.
Yeah.
For both of us. Somebody liked to take a lot of late night walks.
Yeah.
But we got through it.
We got through it, so.
And I'm glad.
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. Ish. Okay, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm glad too. So, Merry Christmas to us.
Merry Christmas to us, and I'm happy we grew up together.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happened.
43 years. Wow, 43 years.
43.
Damn.
Yep, so here we are.
Okay, well, I guess after that. Well, anyway. So things work out. They do. I honestly believe things work out for the way they should work out. As long as you make good choices and you always take the higher road. There are people in the world that have a very, very inward view, and they find themselves isolated from reality for that view. And and I guess we're all paying the price for that now. But as long as you take the outward positive view, and you always take the higher road, things will work out. And also, as you can tell for me, if you marry the absolute best person you've ever met, it really does work out, and which I did. And then my second wife, I'm getting... No, never mind. It's her. I'm talking about her.
Actually, there was a line in Red 1 that I think pertains to the situation, which is every decision is an opportunity to be good.
Right.
And I think that was our opportunity to be good. We actually, I think we figured out that we were both missing things in our lives, and we kind of filled those empty gaps in each other and grew together, which it doesn't happen for everyone. Some people get married at our age, and there were people we knew that got married around the same time that aren't together anymore. So there is another couple, though, that we know that are still married. They've been married longer than we have. So it's, you know, some people it works out for, some it doesn't, but it's a learning process.
It's a learning process. Depends on if you allow yourself to mature into the relationship. Okay, well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed our Christmas story, our personal Christmas story. And we hope that this being, as we said, the last podcast and last Sunday before Christmas, we hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll be back for the last podcast before the new year, and we'll talk about everything that's going to be happening to us in 2025. We have a lot of things happening, and it's not just books. We have a lot of things happening in 2025 that we're really, really excited and looking forward to. So
2025 is going to be a roller coaster of a year. We all know that already on various fronts that we don't talk about, but we're hoping, by focusing on what we want to do, and if you want to follow along with us, we're hoping to do something positive.
Right.
We're hoping to help other authors. That's our mission, is to help authors, and we're hoping for a good 2025.
I think we're going to make 2025, the best 2025 we can within our power. So between the two of us, I think we're going to do, a bang up job. We're going to have some fun while we're doing it. Is there anything else we want to tell these lovely people before we let them get back to their lives?
No, we just hope that you have a wonderful holiday season if you celebrate. We hope that you stay warm if you're in the northern hemisphere, because it is that cold and dark time of year. If you're in the southern hemisphere, we glare at you again. No, we hope anyone anywhere is enjoying this time of year, and that any holidays that you do celebrate are wonderful, and that maybe you get a little bit of the Christmas magic that we had when we first met. Yeah, and that we still celebrate, and we still have every single year. One of the reasons I like Christmas so much. Okay. We're done here. Y'all take care. Sitting over there is Cece. And over there's JT. We hope that you take care of each other and take care of yourselves too. Y'all be good now, okay? Bye-bye. Bye.